Good evening. It is Wednesday, June 1st, 2016. My name is Jacob.
And I'm Danielle.
And we are the Proteus Podcast. Ideas in all shapes and forms.
No matter how many times I hear your dulcet tones, I keep on thinking, you, sir, should be in Hollywood.
Well, I liked to make weird sounds when I was a kid and thought I had a future in voice acting.
And then never pursued.
Well, some people follow their dreams. Other people stay home and pay the bills.
You know what? I bet you that if you put an ad up on Fiverr, you'd have many Fiverr requests.
To read things in the dulcet tones of Gary Whitta?
Yeah, except it'd be Jacob Robinson.
True. To anyone that gets that reference, good job.
Well done. I'm applauding for you with my invisible hands.
Invisible hands.
Mm-hmm. So I did get some feedback about a previous podcast.
Good heavens, actual feedback.
And I would like to share that Maya Angelou is indeed dead. She is not potentially alive. That's all it was. Maya Angelou is dead.
I'm really worried about that because I don't remember talking about her.
It was last week, I think, when you were in a lot of pain and I was in New Orleans and... Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Maya Angelou, dead.
Well, rest in peace, I guess, Maya Angelou.
Thank you. Thank you, faithful listener.
Faithful listener.
So, how are you doing this week?
Oh, I'm still suffering through the woes of being injured, but I'm managing as best I can. I have doctor's appointments next week and a prescription for better pills, so we're getting through the worst of it.
Oh man, prescription for better pills. That's a mediocre band name.
that would make a mediocre band name. This was one of those things that I was leaving my doctor's appointment, my doctor was like, the opioid addiction that's, ravaging America, these are the cause. I'm like, oh, well, thanks for that.
Oh man. So, are you going to do your best to not be an opioid addict?
Yes, I'm very cognizant of the addictive nature of these pills, and I'm only taking them when I really, really get to where I can't handle the pain.
That's good, because if I find you in a opium den in San Francisco without your pants, I'm going to be very upset with you.
It's not going to be San Francisco. If I'm going to be an opium den, it's totally going to be somewhere in Japan or China. If you're going to go opium den, you're going to go all out.
I could see you in an opium den in China or Japan. Like going, what? I'm the great white guy. I like opium. What?
Yeah, doesn't seem like a good future.
So, so fortuitous that you brought us to Japan.
Oh.
Because Japan is part of the Ring of Fire.
Oh, yes, the Ring of Fire.
And 3 days ago, I was reading the world had a flurry of volcanic activity. Actually, as the Weather Network said, frantic volcano activity seen across much of the globe.
Yeah, ironically enough, if I'm remembering how to use irony correctly, I was reading an article in a magazine at the doctor's office today about the Lost Volcano.
Lost Volcano?
Yes, as it turns out, in 1809, approximately in January, they said plus or minus 4 months. They're not real sure on the date because things get sketchy when you're looking 200 years into the past and bad records. A volcano somewhere on this planet blew up. It was the second most violent volcanic eruption ever recorded based on... Well, here's the sketchy part. It wasn't really recorded. No one knows where the second most violent volcanic eruption ever to occur in history happened.
Okay, but so how do we know that it happened?
Well, for one thing, there is records from newspapers from around the country commentating on the fact that the sky was very dim that year, like at that point, around January and following, the sun was described as being so dim it was like could be mistaken for the moon. The sky was no longer blue, but basically a pale white, and temperatures absolutely plummeted all over the globe because of the ash cloud and atmospheric disturbance that such a large eruption causes.
So so there were newspaper. What year was this?
1809.
1809. I know that. What happened in 1809? I know nothing about 1809.
Well, more interesting things happened in 1814, but apparently in 1809 was one of those years that we didn't really have much of a summer.
Because a volcano erupted.
Yeah, but no one really caught on to this, right? They never really realized what it was. They just, this year we don't have much of a summer. The sun seems dim. The sky is white. What's up with that? Because, back in the early days, So anyways, in more recent days, though, people doing ice core samples and studying volcanoes and their effects just noticed that in the ice core layer that belongs to 1809, there's this residue from a massive volcanic eruption. And, so they started scrounging around, looking around, and they, came up with the records that people mentioning, that was a very cold year and all that. But the weird part is, no one saw this volcano go. I mean, the most violent of all volcano eruptions people witnessed, and there's, eyewitness accounts of what happened and all this, and like Krakatoa, which is like the third most violent eruption that's ever happened, there's photographs of before and after. That island went from being a mountain to being a small hill. It just obliterated the whole island, and this eruption in 1809 was more powerful than that.
Okay.
And no one knows where it was.
So maybe 1809, right? The world has not been fully discovered.
Not entirely.
A lot of portions of the ocean still not found. Many islands not explored. Maybe we in 1809 the people saw the dim skies, saw the end of Atlantis.
It's hard to say, but here's the interesting part, though, because I know from Krakatoa, people 500 miles away heard the explosion, like to the extent of suffering mild hearing damage. So it had to have been an incredibly isolated place for a volcano to go off and no one heard it. And it was, the second most powerful blast in all of history that we know of.
And wouldn't you like to be able to have a spacefaring time ship, and then you can go
back and watch
1809 from space, going, all right,
it's gonna be down there somewhere.
Hope it's on this side of the planet.
Yeah, seeing as you've got a time machine, you can adjust your orbit and look on the other side later. But that must have been my personal. And they're theorizing, it's some kind of. They think it was in the tropical chains of islands, and probably in the Ring of Fire somewhere. Just an outlier, isolated island that went. But by all rights, it probably just completely removed it to a point of being below the surface of the ocean again. Because if it showed above the ocean, even today, you'd be able to tell that it had happened.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's really interesting, It makes me excited for, the future of undersea, mapping and research. They'll probably find a giant crater somewhere. And, here's where that giant volcanic explosion happened back in 1809.
Back in 1809. We found it. Yay, look at me, Mom.
Good
Yay.
looking, we found it. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting, though, that something so significant could have happened within recorded history and we don't know where it was.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, volcanoes are interesting. Volcanic activity more so. The island of Sumatra? It's in Indonesia.
Not very well.
Jakarta is on the island of Sumatra.
Okay.
South of Malaysia, south of Thailand. No?
Kind of.
Anyway, they have 130 volcanoes on that island.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's such a wee place too.
Such a such a wee place to have so many volcanoes. Uh, so anyway, that one of its volcanoes was active the past 10 days. Mount Cinnabung.
Mm.
It's on like the northern part of the island, northwest. But so okay, in the 20th century, the average number of volcano eruptions,
Mm-hmm.
35 per year.
Okay.
Guess how many volcanoes have been active, showing great signs of activity, like stuff spewing out in the past 10 days?
More than 35.
40.
Wow. I recently read that they were detecting a lot of interesting activity under Mount St. Helens again, actually. So the best estimates is it's refilling its magma pools.
Yeah, there was some hubbub about that up here, and people were like panicking that they were going to lose Portland this time.
Yeah, we're a long ways from that, from what I read on the articles. They said this isn't an indicator that it's going to explode like it did before. This is an indicator that it's in the stages well before exploding again.
Oh yeah, I went to Mount St. Helens last summer, end of summer, right before fall started, and let me tell you, that is interesting to look at up close and personal.
I imagine so. I've seen the before and after photographs, and that is a significant thing that happened.
You need to see it in person. If you come up here and visit, we'll go visit Mount St. Helens, because like looking at it in person, your breath is taken away.
You're like, oh my, there used to be so much more, and it's so very big.
Yeah, it's so very big, and now there's this, and oh.
You should really look up the before and after pictures of Krakatoa, because as impressive as the before and after of St. Helens is, Krakatoa is tenfold.
Krakatoa.
Absolutely astonishing. You wouldn't believe they're the same place.
Yeah, but Krakatoa was an island.
Yeah.
And
it was
don't
a very
get me wrong.
big mountain on an island, and then it wasn't.
And then it wasn't.
Yes,
it was a little hill.
Barely even qualifying it as a hill.
Oh, it's just a crater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I get it. That's one of those things. But how many people died from Krakatoa?
I don't know if there's a count. I haven't really looked into it really deeply. I've only just today gotten excited about learning about volcanoes again. So.
Oh well, okay.
I mean, it was a populated island, and
Krakatoa erupted May 20th, 1883. It was the loudest sound ever recorded, at the time at least. 36,000 fatalities.
Yeah.
Heard from 4,800 kilometers away, the equivalent of 200 tons of mega TNT.
Yeah, I think he probably meant to say 200 megatons of TNT.
Yeah, what's mega TNT?
I'm not sure. The point is, big boom.
I don't know, land volcanoes, though, just terrify me more. I mean...
I don't know. Land volcanoes, you have somewhere to run. If you're on an ocean volcano, you either stay there or you boat, and boats are slow.
I guess you're right. I mean, let's see here. Mount St. Helens, only 57 people were killed. 250 homes, 47 bridges, 15 miles of railways, 185 miles of highway were destroyed. Debris avalanche. I guess you're right. At least you can run away.
Yeah. I read a fascinating thing about St. Helens the other day, actually, about a photographer that actually captured it while it was happening. And he was too close. He saw it go off and realized there's no way I'm going to escape this. And so he continued either photographing and filming, and then calmly rewound all of his film, put it in canisters, and then put it somewhere, and then covered it with himself to protect it. And the volcano killed him, and then later on, someone found the film because they knew he was out there, and they got the pictures and developed them. So he sacrificed himself to a certain extent to record the most close detailed pictures of a volcano going off that were available at the time.
Would that even work? It sounds like an urban myth.
No, it was a true, real thing. There's a big article on it in a very reputable scientific publish. I can't remember where I found it. It was online, but there was a whole big thing about it. It showed the actual pictures.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically he was going to get killed by the ash flow and the cloud of the stuff that it suffocated him, basically. But he made sure that he was there with his film canisters so that they could be saved.
Okay.
I'm very proud of him for having the wherewithal to continue taking pictures and do all that instead of just panicking and dying like so many of the rest of us would do.
I agree. It seems crazy. Like me, I don't think I would be able to do that. I think I would be like, well, the volcano just erupted. I am going to now become a superhuman and run faster than lava and this plume of death and the debris and the subsequent earthquakes. Not a problem. I'm going to take care of it.
Yeah. Go into a highly modified, accelerated, high-speed panic.
Yes. Have you seen did you Up? Did you see Up, the movie Up?
I have not seen the movie Up.
Okay, so you know how Pixar does like the little short films?
Mm-hmm.
Films? The one for Up was a song, a music video called Lava. It's really good.
I'll have to get a hold of Up and watch it.
Oh, it's so good. No, I'm sorry. I'm not thinking Up. Up is great. I was thinking of Inside Out. Inside Out?
No, I saw Inside Out. I don't remember the short film having anything to do with lava.
What? Are you sure? The Volcano song?
I don't remember a volcano song. Seems like that's the sort of thing that would stick in your head.
Someone to Lava? No?
Yeah, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just a high-pitched whistle where that memory should be.
I'm going to be upset with myself because I don't.
To all of our listeners, tell us which movie the lava song is from.
Watch, I'm gonna be right. It's gonna be Inside Out. I know it.
That makes me worried for myself.
It was Inside Out.
Really?
Boom. Yes.
I might have seen it on a DVD or something that played it in a weird way and didn't have the little pre-video.
But I was right, and you doubted me, and you were wrong.
Well, listen, just because you're right doesn't mean I've seen the video about lava.
It's really good. You should watch it.
I'll find it.
It'll make you an emotional mess.
Right in the feels, as the internet says.
Yes, it's like, oh look, I'm gonna gut punch you.
Lie down, try not to cry a lot.
But how have you not seen Up?
The same way I accidentally don't see most Disney or Pixar movies anymore. Hang on, that didn't make sense. Let me rephrase. For the same reason that I haven't seen lots of the more recent cartoons. Because it's creepy and weird to go see cartoons as an adult by yourself.
No, not Pixar
as an adult male. All right.
No,
and then I'd forget to watch them on DVD.
Jake, my friend.
Listen.
You're missing all the emotional gut punching of a good Pixar film.
And I know this, but I'm really just not down for all the weird looks that the parents give me when I come to a kids movie as an adult alone. There comes a point in every man's life where he has to decide how much of a weirdo he's going to be. And that's my limit right there.
I think that you've hit upon one of the first and only actual man problems.
Yes, this is a real man problem, ladies and gentlemen. Of all the dumb shit that men complain about, we can't go see kids' movies without getting looked at like we're creeps.
At least not big burly dudes like yourself.
Nah, it doesn't. The small Weasley ones can't go either.
No?
Because they're small and weaselly.
Being a dude must suck.
It has its moments.
Sorry to taking us off track, but I couldn't believe that you... Up has some science in it,
Yeah, I'm
There's
going to see it.
balloons.
I will get it seen. It's much like every Pixar movie has been for me from the very beginning. I remember seeing the previews for Toy Story and thinking, boy, that looks dumb. And then I saw it and thought it was great. Then I saw the previews for Monsters, Inc. and thought, boy, that looks dumb. And that's one of my favorite Pixar movies of all time. And so on and so forth down through the ages.
Monsters, Inc. was good. I didn't really so much like the second one.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
Just like for the same reason. A big burly dude in a movie theater full of children doesn't go over well.
See, this is when you need to call Spud.
Well, yeah, she's never handy when I can go to the movies.
Dude, you could just say, hey, I want to go see this movie. Let's set up a time to do it and organize it.
You would think that would be easy.
I know it could be easy.
Mm.
I could organize it for you. That's how easy it would be.
No, please don't. I can't sit in chairs these days. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to go stand through X-Men.
Oh, man. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard good things.
Well, in that case, I might as well get her done maybe Friday night or something.
Yeah. I did watch Deadpool again the other night.
Yeah, congratulations.
Because I needed to shoot.
They're opening up with that movie. They opened up a lot of possibilities. The rumor has it that the upcoming or henceforth coming miniath and final Wolverine movie will be R-rated because the fetters have been unshackled, or some such saying from movie makers, and they realize we can make R-rated movies and make money with them.
But Blade made money.
That was years ago.
I'm just saying, it was an R-rated comic book
Hollywood
movie.
has become very tentative about R-rated movies lately, for some reason.
Huh.
They really shoot for that PG-13 so they can get all the kids in, make that sweet kid money.
Oh, that sweet, sweet kid money.
Well, that allowance and mama's credit card.
Yeah, I really hope that the last Wolverine movie is Old Man Logan.
Ooh. Has a lot of possibilities.
I mean, that would be properly rated R.
Yeah.
Like, doing Old Man Logan.
Because Hugh Jackman said this is the last one. He doesn't think that it's reasonable to keep going because he says he can't stay in that condition long. He's going to get old and it's not going to make sense. But yeah, I think it's going to be weird when they finally reboot Wolverine with not Hugh Jackman, because he's done such a fantastic job. Even if the movies bomb, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine just works.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
It's like if no one else could do it, that would be wrong.
See, I think that you could get a different actor to play Captain America other than Chris Evans. Yeah. Like, you could reboot Captain America.
Maybe. I think he's done a pretty outstanding job of it, though.
I think he's done a pretty good job, but I don't think that, I don't think of Chris Evans when I think of Captain America.
Yeah, that's possibly because you have a deeper connection to the comics of him than I do.
True. Anyway, we were talking about science and weather and volcanoes.
And we made it to comic book movies because we are complete dorks.
We're dorks. Let me tell you about volcanoes. We could have gone down a completely different path. I mean, I think that there is a thing that people use that smoke weed called a volcano.
Yeah, let's not get into that. So anyways, do you have a quote for today?
I do, but you go first.
Well, my quote pertains to my medication, and it's Bill Hicks. He said, "Not all drugs are bad. Some are great."
Nice.
Yeah.
I lost my quote. Give me a second. I'm bringing it back up.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to skip forward so we can do this in a weird way and tell you that I am only like a 4 on the jaded meter.
Only like 4, man. Those must be some good pain kit pills.
Well, not hurting makes you really optimistic.
I will do this one. Are you ready?
Sure.
I think my favorite movie is Joe versus the Volcano. Or maybe Multiple Maniacs by John Waters. Justin Kirk.
Okay.
Because Joe versus the Volcano is amazing.
I've never seen it.
Oh man, Joe versus the Volcano is classic. Classic Murray.
Oh, I tried to watch Groundhog Day the other day. Fell asleep halfway through.
Oh,
partly because I was exhausted, and partly because I was exhausted.
I'm gonna die. I called it Classic Murray, and it's Tom Hanks. Oh,
well,
I'm sorry.
We're sorry, Bill Murray and Tom Hanks.
I was getting confused with another movie.
You're like right next to each other in the alphabet.
Right next to each other. So the thing is about Joe versus the Volcano is that there is some spectacular luggage in it.
Yes. I'll take that under advisement.
Yeah.
So how jaded are you?
I'm in a state of contemplative introspection.
So 5?
Meaning that I have a lot of apathy.
Mm-hmm. That's not jaded, but that's apathy.
I know, but it weighs into where I land on the jaded meter.
Okay.
Probably a 3.
Very well done.
Yeah, introspectiveness does that. You're like contemplative introspection. I don't really understand life. What does life know about me?
Little navel gazing.
Navel gazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Well, that's good.
So I would like to thank everyone for once again listening to us. If you have indeed listened to us.
Indeed. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for updates when the podcast is released.
Or rate us and download us on iTunes.
And follow us on Stitcher, because that's a thing.
Evidently. And thank you to our lone listener with the anonymously telling me that people had died. Yeah.
And to any of you that happen to run Stitcher, it's not that we don't like your service, it's just that I'm confused by
it. And that no one really understands it either. Anyway.
In that case, I've been Jacob.
I'm still Danielle.
And we are the Proteus Podcast. Good night, everyone.